if there's no chaos in your company right now, you are too slow and you're not going to make it.
AI is coming for SaaS. Will you survive it? Will I? I don't know. Let's find out.
Today, I'm very excited to welcome Robert Ludwig from Perspective.co. Robert, welcome here.
Thank you so much,
to
Pascal.
podcast.
Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure also. So, Robert, tell me more about Perspective for people who don't know. What do you guys do?
Yes.
Where are you based? What's the story here?
Yes. We are a marketing software company,
Okay.
and we basically help performance marketers, marketing agencies around the world to get more and better leads from their performance marketing campaigns. So it's a website builder, but specialized on performance marketing. We have been a marketing agency before, and we started to productize our service back in 2019, and then let the agency slowly go down and shift everything to the software business. And since then, we have been building and scaling the software. We're fully bootstrapped. We're now around 50 people, active in the German-speaking markets, and since last year in the US, as well as other English-speaking markets. And I think have created something quite nice for the last years. But of course, today's topic, we're going to get to that in a bit, is changing our whole business.
Yeah. So 50 people, 10 million plus in revenue.
Yes.
How many customers do you have?
We currently have around 7,500 customers around the world.
Okay.
And it's all B2B.
Okay, all B2B. And so when we prepared this podcast, you mentioned something that struck me, which is we used to be a design first company, and now we have to become an AI first company.
Yes.
Can you tell me exactly what was the exact moment in the last 2 or 3 years where you had that oh shit moment, and what happened before and after that?
Yeah. To be honest, I think I had several of those moments in the last years. We always have been a design-driven company, and it's one of our core principles, think design. We still are a design-driven company. However, we noticed that in today's times, it's way more important to put AI first. And to explain that a bit better, I maybe have to go back a little bit. So we have built that software company for a while. And then, of course, ChatGPT launched 3.5 years ago now. And we started to see the potential. We started to see what's possible. But we were still at that point where we were like, okay, the German-speaking market is too small. We have to go into other markets. So we were really focused on the marketing, go-to-market side of things, and decided to go into the US market. And then last year, I actually went to an event of Intercom in Berlin. And Paul, the CPO, very inspiring person, and I personally am very inspired by Intercom, shared their philosophy and how they think about the current times that we're in, which was one of the big oh shit moments for me, surely, where I realized we can't just like let it run, but we actively have to change how we build the company. Because we are a company that's been around for 5 years now. So the company was started when AI wasn't a thing. So the whole fundamental base of the company is non-AI. But now we're competing with companies that are 3-4 kids sitting on one kitchen table and are completely AI native. So we have to revamp the whole baseline of our company and make that AI native as well. And to do that, you have to go to the foundations. And for us, the foundations are our values and principles. So that's how we actually started thinking about how to change them, and which led us to bring in Think AI and establish that as a core principle in the company.
And so how did you explain this to a team without just feeling like you're using buzzwords?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So as we are a fully remote company, we are mainly online together the whole year. Yeah. But we have 2 in-person events where we meet for 1 full week. We all arrive on Sunday, then we spend a full week together and leave on Saturday again. And in that week last year in Italy, we did a workshop on becoming AI first. And on the the current times where we're at, on giving an overview of what's happening in the market, and especially in the Silicon Valley market, so in the thought leaders of our market, and what that means for us, what the risks are as well as what the opportunities are. And I think we gave quite a detailed explanation of what we understand also behind the idea of Think AI, that we just want to put it everywhere, in every process, in every project. The first thing that you should do is think, how can I solve this with AI, through AI, and not how can I solve this the legacy way, the way that we are used to, the way that we've been building products for years.
And so when you think about that change, obviously it's a big human capital change,
yes,
and we'll talk about that later. Has you seen an impact on other dimensions? For example, you are used for performance marketing. Performance marketing is going to be impacted by
yes,
the rise of ChatGPT,
yes,
Claude, and Gemini.
yeah.
How has SEO, performance marketing, all that change your equation for you guys?
It has changed everything. I don't think that there's a single dimension that's untouched by AI, to be honest, throughout the company in every way possible. If we look at the strategy, if we look at how we build products, if we look at our own marketing, if we look at how marketing functions in the market right now, how marketing is also based inside an organization and the role, responsibilities of marketing. I think all that is shifting or has shifted.
And so do you see, for example, less SEO or less ads click because on your performances or on your customers' performances because consumers are shifting to ChatGPT?
Yeah. So I think SEO is definitely something that is becoming more important again with Geo, right? So optimizing for LLMs, 100%. And that's what we are also doing. We've hired one person that is responsible for that within Perspective and is doing a great job in making us more visible to LLMs.
Yeah.
When it comes to our customers, I think what we're seeing is that performance marketing is also changing a lot. And I think there's still a lot of change to come because right now LLMs and all the big AI frontier labs, they haven't really opened up for ads yet, but they are currently in the process of doing so. And once that opens up, I think that will change performance marketing in a big scale.
Have you actually been able to see what? I mean, I know that OpenAI, it's been rumored that they've reached 100 million in ARR in ads revenue, which is which is basically 10 million in a month, which is both amazing for anybody, but at their scale, not that much. Have you been able to see what it looked like?
We've seen a little bit, like a few hints and bits and pieces, but we haven't really seen it established across like the whole performance marketing org in any meaningful way yet. But I think it's just around the corner, to be honest.
And do you see already? I mean, most of your customers are in German-speaking markets.
Yes.
But you also have obviously a lot of customers in the US.
Yes.
Do you see a change in customer expectation with the use of it, like in terms of speed of bug fixes or whatever? What?
100%. So generally, our USPs have always been ease of use of our own software, performance of the funnels, and then the lead quality, right? This is always what we've been standing for and what we still stand for today. And especially the first one, ease of use, is changing drastically right now. Because now that you have Lovable, that you have Claude Code, and you can build landing pages in minutes, the time to value within our software, like 2 years ago, we were quite bold with the claim of build your full funnel in 60 minutes. Nowadays, you think like 60 minutes, I don't want to wait 60 minutes, right? So it's about how can we give our customers the value that they have received in 60 minutes in the past with a lot of their own work to now get it to them in 60 seconds without them needing to do much, right? These are the things that we're working on. So the expectations towards our software from our customers, especially performance marketers and agency owners who are in many cases at the bleeding edge of technology, has definitely shifted a lot. And we are seeing that, of course, also in bug fixes, also in other expectations towards our software. And I think we're very happy that we partner with great companies who enable us to implement AI throughout our whole company, also in product, also in engineering, in support, etc.
And are there parts of your product that used to be strong differentiators of yours and that are now just table stakes?
Yes.
Can you give me an example?
Yes, definitely. I think I mentioned before that we've always been a design-driven company. And the way how we designed our product, we made it basically impossible for our customers to build websites that are not pretty. That was always one of our strong opinions, that we want to bring more beauty into the world through our product and through all the thousands. I mean, there are nearly 100,000 websites live through our software right now. So we wanted to bring some beauty out there with the impact and the reach that we have. But Claude Code now builds beautiful websites as well. So that's table stakes. That's nothing that's everybody can do that now. So the question for us is, okay, what are the USPs of the future?
And so you mentioned to me last time when we first talked, that you used to sell software as a service, and now you have to sell almost AI as a service. Can you walk us through what is the new version, the AI version of Perspective, and not the internal dimension, more the external dimension? So what is the product of the future that you see will get differentiation, will get a unique selling proposition?
Yes. So we have a lot of things that we're working on right now, which I'm very excited about. I won't be able to share everything, but I can tell you the big picture. The way how we look at it is that software as a service is gone, basically, right? We're at the point right now where every press release of Anthropic is basically shutting down one whole industry within SaaS, right? So the new thing is service as software, SaaS. And that's what we're trying to do. We are looking at, okay, what are the responsibilities and the tasks that our customers are currently doing within our run, so within our software, right? So it's building a funnel, it's interacting with the lead, sending out messages, moving them through phases in the CRM. And we're looking at how can we do that for our customers? How can we take over the jobs to be done of our customers? And that's what we're working on right now. So our product is evolving to become a service as a software compared to software as a service. So it's actually turning around the whole equation in a sense. And of course, if we look at the bigger picture, we talked about performance marketing in general, and I really admire the approach that Intercom took, where Intercom said we are basically revamping the whole vertical of customer support, and they did not even just revamp it and say, look, support was once like this and now it's like this, but they actually meaningfully impacted it to go from support to experience. So they say the old way was customer support, and now the new way is customer experience. And of course, we're looking at performance marketing in a similar way, and are thinking about what does performance marketing tomorrow look like.
And so you were mentioning Intercom, and one element, one bold decision that Intercom made was to build Fin as a separate brand and almost as a separate product. I mean, obviously it's intertwined with Intercom, but it's they made that choice. And I was talking to Crisp in the similar category as Intercom, which also builds Hugo, which also has a separate brand. What about you? How are you seeing your future? Is Perspective going to have like a first name baby?
Maybe. We definitely have a few ideas on that and have a few cool projects that we're working on. I can't share too much right now, but we're looking at why, like, if we ask ourselves, why does Intercom do it? Why did Crisp do it? For Intercom, it was one way to basically hedge their risk, right? To say, look, if we're doing this with Intercom and it fails, everything is gone. So if we just put it on the side and give it a whole new branding, and if that fails, it doesn't touch our reputation. And I think 3 years ago, that was very important to do, and it was exactly the right decision. If that's still needed in today's world where everyone knows AI is a thing, everyone arrived, at least in our industry, in this new timeline, right? I don't think it's necessary from that point of view anymore. Another reason that they had of why they did it was that some of their customers or some of their potential clients are not using Intercom. So Fin is a gateway to use Intercom, but you can also use Fin with Zendesk. You can also use Fin with other tooling, right? And I think that still today is a very legit reason to do something like that.
But for you, the question is, do I build something completely different with a different brand, maybe new customers, something that can sit on top of Perspective, but is kind of a separate thing? Or should it actually just be inside Perspective and should it just, we should just completely change the bowels of our software?
Yeah. The way how we think and have started to work in the last years on implementing AI is in 3 layers. The first layer is AI features, where we are implementing features that are utilizing AI to make the work of our customers easier. For example, you can rewrite a headline with AI. You just click a button and it rewrites your headline in a more marketing style, right? To make it easier for customers who are not that good in copywriting. The second layer then is to have a copilot. So a copilot where you have a funnel and the copilot tells you, look, in this funnel, I have the following adjustments that I would recommend you to do. Do you want to do them? And then the third level is the agent, where it's someone that, some agent that takes over the whole work for you. For example, it automatically optimizes the funnel. And this kind of approach, we are looking at this 3-layered approach with all the different products that we have. We're looking at this with the funnel, with the CRM, with messaging, and with also how our customers, other agencies, are utilizing our product for their customers, right? Workspaces is a big thing that enables our customers to host all their customers within one account. And so also looking at that, how can we enable that through AI?
And so one element that I find interesting with AI is actually the interaction of AI and design. I mean, OpenAI, Anthropic, it has been amazing what they've built, but the design thing, like if you're asking them to design an image, it's okay, it's nice, but it's not necessarily super exciting. At least not always. And people that are visual, they like things to be pixel perfect, etc. How do you think about that tension for your customers that obviously they want the super quick 1 minute onboarding, but they also want something that looks nice, where the colors are the same, where the contrasts are nice, where whatever the font is well balanced compared to everything else. How do you allow that flexibility that you had before with your drag and drop editor, but with the speed of AI?
I think it's all about context and restriction. And when it comes to AI, to LLMs, the way how we built our product was always quite restrictive in a sense that we were very opinionated and still are very opinionated about how we think funnels, mobile funnels as we call them, should be built, right? So when it comes to, for example, padding or for, how you structure the layout of your funnel, we did not give our customers many options because we strongly believe that this, and we know from all the data, from everything that we've seen, from all the thousands and millions of funnels that have come across our desk in a sense, and that we know that that's all you need. Of course, there are some customers who always reach out to us and said, but I want to use 2 custom fonts in one funnel, but I want to not just use SML as my padding margins, but I want to specify it more. And we have built features for them nowadays because we do want to enable that, but generally we think it's not necessary. And when we look at LLMs, I think if you just hand an LLM prompt and say, build me a website, right? And there's no restriction and no context whatsoever, it might not look like you want it to look. But that's because of these 2 things. It's because of there are no restrictions and there's no context. So the more context you give and the better you set your restrictions, your frame of what the LLM is supposed to do, the better your outcome also will be. And that's what we're seeing also internally with our products that we're building and with how we are applying LLMs in our funnel editor.
So you are basically creating restrictions for your customers, and that's how you limit the output possibilities of the AI.
That's one side. The other side is the context, right? So that it's not necessarily always restrictions, but it's also that we just give the right context that we have figured out that is needed to ensure that the LLM takes over or takes over specific best practices when it comes to how to design specific elements of a funnel, for example.
And so if you think about these sub-agents, the sub-agents will do more than what it did before, especially if it acts not only in building this funnel, but also in interacting with a CRM, with the outside CRM, in providing scoring for leads, et cetera, et cetera. This will lead to token costs for you guys.
Yes.
And so how did you model, you're the CEO of a company, I'm not sure it's your job, your colleague who's a CEO or CFO, how do you model the new business equation of Perspective in that new world?
Yeah. It's a very good question, and one that we are still working on as well.
Yeah.
I think the beginning for us, it was not really that important. I mean, we are a bootstrapped company, so every penny is important for us, right? And we are really taking good care of the costs that we are incurring in the business model that we're setting. But the rate of technological improvement right now and the rate of token cost sinking right now just makes it obsolete to invest too much time into the business model, to be honest. So right now we're rather trying to figure out, or we have tried to figure out how to make things work than looking too much at how will the costs incur afterwards, because we know that in 2 months we can just take a cheaper model that is as good as the good model right now, and we'll be fine, right? So that's how we look at it a little bit. I do think that if we look a bit more into the future, what Andre Kapowski also just I hope I pronounce his surname correctly, just said on a podcast not too long ago, is that specification is going to become more and more. That of course these AI frontier labs, OpenAI and Anthropic, they are building incredible models who are really good at doing all sorts of things. But we are now starting to come to a point where it will make more sense, because technology is there, where it will make more sense to build specific models for specific use cases. And then the whole cost question becomes a totally different again. So I think if we revisit this question in 6 months or 1 year, I think I can give you a better answer, because right now I think technology is changing too much to have a very strong opinion on that right now.
And so if you think about another dimension of the company that has changed, which is the internal team. You are a team of 50 people, very remote. Many of them are in Europe. Yeah. Something that is not much discussed is when you say to somebody, hey, now we need to be AI first, AI native, it triggers some fear to people.
100%.
And so on the one hand, there's a fear. On the other one, there's the opportunity of, I can improve, I can create new skills. How do you avoid people thinking that this is going to replace themselves versus this is something where you will be fine if you embrace it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think one that is very important for all kinds of companies, not just technology companies like ourselves. I think there are multiple layers to that. First of all, I think it's about how you embrace it as a company. So from the beginning, already 1.5 years ago, or maybe a bit longer ago, we started to just say, everybody use it. It's there, people can use it, but there's no, we didn't tell anybody this is now the expectation that you are using ChatGPT every day, right? But we just enabled usage. Yeah. So enabling curiosity through usage and through giving them the tools, I think that's already the first step that is important to do, because this technological revolution has to work both ways. I think it has to go top down, but it also has to go bottom up. It
Yeah.
doesn't work if one of those paths is not active. And so starting to bring up that curiosity is the first important part. And then after a while, we actually started to implement procedures. We started to implement expectations around AI usage. And I think what's important here is psychological safety. That's the second point. So as leaders, it is our responsibility to ensure that our team has this psychological safety to voice their fears, to voice what they're worried about, and to talk about it. And we as a leadership team, we've been very vocal to our team when it comes to these changes. And one of these, I think, great ideas that Michael, my co-founder, had, that he found a prompt for Claude that generates an artifact and shows you where your role, so you just type in, I am a product engineer, I am a product manager, I am a customer support representative. Tell me how my role has changed from 12 months ago to today to in 12 months and in 24 months. And we just told people, hey, try it yourself, see what comes out. And I think that really helped people to understand, whoa, this actually is happening. Like there's no way around it. It's not like this is an optional thing that, you know, like, I don't know, you're at a fair and some people want to go into the roller coaster that looks incredibly scary. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to pass. Yeah. It's not like that, because it's there for everybody and it's there to stay. There's no way around it. So if you don't embrace it, that's actually how you're going to lose your job. That's actually how you're going to, fall behind. So giving people the space to explore that for themselves and understand that for themselves, and not pressuring them into, adopting something that they're unwilling to adopt, giving them the psychological safety, I think that helped a lot. And what we're seeing now is that people throughout the company are using Cloud Code who have never, been an engineer or worked with the terminal before. In my team, our people and culture lead built an internal feedback tool, and that's replacing 2 other tools that we've been using. And it's incredible. It's incredibly exciting to see how people are, using those new technologies to make the most out of the times that we're in, and also to really push forward their career and their own roles.
So I think that the one key element is the psychological safety that you mentioned earlier. How did you, walk me through how you implemented that, especially in a remote setting? I mean, I have a 12, 13 people remote team, so I'm interested. How did you, what did it look like? Did you implement Zoom webinars with a team where people could talk about, voice their concerns? Walk me through the exact thing that you did.
Yes, totally. So generally, I think there is no one solution fits all. I think you always have to see what your team is like, what your situation is like, and analyze, use Claude for that as well. Yeah. Analyze what are the factors that are holding your team back right now. And of course, talk to your people, right? I mean, that's the most important part. So for us, it has been, firstly, I would say that top down, we just share that our own vulnerabilities. We share that we are scared. As a founder, I have a team of 50 people that we are responsible for, right?
Yeah.
And I have no idea if we're going to make it through this phase. To be honest, just to be honest, I do think we are at a great point, and I do think we have the right ideas and we're working on the right things. But at the end, no one knows, right?
Yeah.
Even Intercom. I just talked to Jordan, and he said similar things. He's like, we have no idea how this is going to pan out. We can't look 12 months into the future. And at the same time, those fears, just share them with your team. Just share what is on your mind. Show your own vulnerability, because that gives people the psychological safety to share their own. I think that's a very important part. So just be honest, share your own vulnerability as a leader, and then create spaces to talk about that. May it be in your one-on-ones, in the team's one-on-ones. May it be in team meetings, in general catch-up calls. And then the third thing that we did is education. So as I said before, we just give people access to everything and say, just use it, try it out, test it, bring out your ideas. We have a sharing AI channel where everybody's just sharing, whatever the cool things they have built, whatever cool things they have found. But I think what's helping really, really well is AI learning sessions, where we sit down. Right now, it's mostly me, but also people from the team. It's half an hour session, so very short. It's one specific topic, and then I will talk for 5 minutes, maybe give a little bit of background, and then we just do something together. So we started with, what actually, how does Claude work, and how do you connect MCPs? What is an MCP? Then we talked about specific MCPs that can help everybody in their daily work. For example, getting data that you could never access before from our customers, etc. And then going to skills. How do I use skills? What are they used for, etc. Right. So providing that and also providing the tooling. I think right now one of the most successful small side projects that I did or that we did is to build a plugin, a company plugin that's a GitHub repo that is connected to our Claude organization, that everyone has access to the same skills, and it just enables everybody to work faster and better with Claude because they have all the context, they have all the skills that they need.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you that question. I feel that creating skills and plugin at a company level that everybody can use is one of the most powerful change for organizations in the 100%. Last 6 months.
100%. And I would even add to that. I think with the plugins, the skills are extremely important. But I think something that is, for me, that really opened my eyes is that we also put knowledge into them. Yeah. So the plugin also carries company knowledge. It has our company strategy. It has our strategic pillars, our KPIs. It has our org chart, how the team is set up. It has information on our ICP. It has our main messaging, right? And all this knowledge is available in each plugin. So even if an engineer is working on something, right, Claude always has that knowledge at the backbone. And it's only like limited knowledge, the most important parts that are not changing every week, right? Those key information, having them in there helps a lot with ensuring that the quality of the output from Claude is better across the company.
Yeah. So you mentioned that people are using Claude. Can you walk me through an example of a time where somebody in your team built something for the first time and either you or them said, oh shit, this is different now? What was the first time this happened beyond the engineers?
Yeah. There are two examples that come to my mind directly. One of them is in our performance marketing, our own marketing, performance marketing. So we are at the forefront of performance marketing, I would say, nature of our business in some sense, but also because we have really, really good people in our team. And part of performance marketing is that you have to create a lot of different ads. Yeah, it's a lot of creative changes. So we have like 40, 50, 60 ads every 3 days that we push out there. And those all have to get to the Meta Business Manager, right? So you have to upload them somehow. And there's a lot of manual work involved in that. So our performance marketer at some point said, I'm not doing that anymore. And he built himself a tool, an app actually, to do that, where he can just bulk upload. He just connects his Google Drive folder, and it accesses all the new videos that are in that folder. It automatically generates the exact titles for that based on a spreadsheet that's connected, and then goes and uploads them to the business manager and tags them all in the right way and ensures, because we have quite a complicated tagging system so that we can always understand what is the best performing ad, and that we have just a lot of data insights into the whole ad manager. Yeah. So the tool does everything for it, and it saves them like 6 hours a week at least. And that was more than half a year ago. And when I heard about that, when we saw that, we were like, wow, okay, that's different, right? That's amazing.
And how do you ensure quality assurance, like that the AI doesn't do mistakes? Because especially for performance marketing, if it does mistake, you're paying the clicks. Yes. Facebook and Google are not giving you a break.
Totally. You just have to be close to it. You have to monitor it. Right. And I think nowadays with evals, it's becoming a bit easier to do that. Yeah. But generally, if you are close to it, you can't just build something and let it sit on the side and then do something else for 2 weeks, right? Then you obviously will make some mistakes and lose out on money or lose out on opportunities. But the way how I think about it is that humans make mistakes. in all kinds of scenarios. That's why we have quality assurance. That, in big organizations, there are a lot of people who are making sure that humans are doing the right job and doing the right things, because it's just human nature. And now AI, if it's deterministic, it doesn't have that. But LLMs are not deterministic. So LLMs just make just as many mistakes as humans do. And so you have to guide them. You have to have QA. You have to ensure that you're close by, that you're monitoring. That's also, I think, the future of most knowledge worker jobs is agent orchestration. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to do the work anymore. You're going to orchestrate agents. And it's about you having good understanding, having the right evaluation criteria, and having the right setup to be able to let the agents go and do their thing, and ensure that they're doing it in the right way and that they're not making mistakes and they're not burning money and those things.
And so that's the first example is that performance marketing. And what was the other example that you mentioned?
To me, it's the feedback tool that I talked about earlier, right? So the person on my team, people in culture, is an incredibly gifted person in the sense of how she can work with people. That's why she's in that role. But she's very far away from technology, from engineering. And when I first said, look, let's try to make our own tool for that, I think it was scary for her. But once she started doing that, the results came in so quickly, and her understanding of technology, understanding of how to build a tool, build a software, has just gone through the roof. And within a week, we had like a fully working software that now our whole company is starting to use and adopting to give each other feedback, which is incredible. And I think that also shows that even if you're very far away from technology, if you have that curiosity, if you are open to try, open to fail, like in that process there come some steps where you're like, what do I do? I have to have GitHub. What is GitHub? Like for a person that's detached from technology, these are the questions that are coming up. But if you approach it with curiosity, then you can do it. Like everyone can do it. And he's been doing that with Cloud Code. And at the beginning it was like code, like I think it just shows, and that's why it's such an important moment to me. Just shows to me that it doesn't matter how far away you are from this technology, AI is there for everyone. And if you're not using it, you are falling behind. And it's easier to use it than you think. You just have to, step into the unknown, step into the uncomfortable, try it out, and be open, be curious, be open to fail as well. Don't stop after the first failure.
I think that, there are multiple elements to unpack here. I think that one element I've seen, even in our own culture for my own company, is that if you force people, if you say you have to use AI, or if it's only for engineers, I don't think it resonates as much. I think that the moment that the management team, the exec team, the founding team, they actually use it and they are excited about it, then it creates momentum.
Totally.
I've started building things with Cloud Code in the last few months, and I'm having the time of my life. And frankly, the smile I have talking about it completely changed. It resonates within the company. And now people can't say, "Oh, CEO wants us to do this because it's a CEO thing." No, he's having fun. Why would I have fun?
And it's so interesting. Just side note, I think especially us as founders, we are all builders. Right? We started a company. We had this idea and started to go from 0 to 1, make it come alive. And what I see about myself and hear from all my other founder friends and people that I know that are founding companies, they're having the time of their lives, in terms of what you can suddenly do as a founder. It's so easy to start something. I think that's also a big risk, because now it's very easy to start something, but actually there are more steps involved than just starting something, right? But it's so easy to build something, to bring an idea alive. It may be, I want to create a new website, or I want to build this big strategy. Like even those things that used to take a lot of time are now at your fingertips and now very, very quick to do. And to the main topic that you touched on, I think it's totally true. And that's what I meant with it has to come top down and bottom up. Top down in the sense of enablement, saying here are the tools, use it, and also of being a role model, being, using it yourself, just like you said. And then bottom up, people have to have the curiosity.
Yeah.
And I think you have to look at your organization. Where are you right now? Are you at a point where people are not yet using those tools? Then it's all about exactly what I just said. Enable them, give them the tooling, be a role model, use it, show that it's not scary, and build that curiosity. If you are at a later stage, at some point you have to say, this is the new expectation, and everyone who's not using it, you're out. Or, we got to get you on a performance improvement plan, because if as an organization, people who are not adopting it at a certain point, it's about your maturity, and when it comes to AI usage, you can't work like this anymore because they are holding back everyone else. It sounds maybe a bit radical, but I think that's how we have to think about it. There are two phases. There's the first phase, which is initial adoption, where it's all about curiosity, all about trying out new things and just making sure everybody gets on board, builds that curiosity. And then there's a second point where, now it's the new norm, and now we just have to ensure that we actually level up the usage, but it's not anymore about yes or no, it's now about how much.
And have you had conversations with some of your team members where you had to go through a PIP, a performance improvement plan, because they were not adopting at all?
No.
Good.
So I'm very, very happy that our whole team is very open to that. And we see people across the company in all kinds of roles adopting AI tooling, LLMs, and all other sorts of new technologies very fast and in depth with everything that they're doing. And also, I think we are now coming to that second phase where it's now the expectation for everybody to do that. But we haven't had the need for anything like that.
So that's a good segue into one important phase. We're in fact, SaaSpocalypse, as the media says.
Yes.
And you mentioned that a little bit earlier, which is around the founder psychology. Before we started recording, you told me about this discussion you had with a founder of one of the executives at Intercom.
Yes.
That I found pretty profound, and I would like to start there. Can you tell us a little bit about the story that you just mentioned to me about the fact that stability is a liability now?
Yes, of course. So, which one are you referring to?
I was referring to what the CPO of Intercom told you, that before you had to be stable,
yes,
and now you have to embrace chaos and change.
Totally. Yes, of course. I think, let me paint a picture for you here.
Yeah.
I love to use this example, this metaphor of a sailing boat, right? I see us as a company as a big sailing boat, and we're sailing around the world, trying to explore the world, find new countries where we can sell our wares, our software in that sense, right?
Yeah.
And in the past, it was my role as a COO to ensure that everyone knows where on this boat is their seat, that they know how to do the job, the responsibilities. So if you are rowing on the side, then you have to have the right tools. You have to have the right abilities to be able to row at the same synchronous tempo than the others.
Yes.
Right? If you want to look out, that's a different story. Like all those kind of things, right? That's my responsibility. And if something is going haywire on the ship, then I have to step in and have to ensure that everything is smooth so that we can sail properly through whatever comes ahead. But now we're in different times. Right now we are in between huge waves, and we can't really control the ship anyway. We can row as much as we want. The sea is taking us in a direction if we want it or not. And to be able to survive in this rough seas that we're in right now, it's not about ensuring that the rowers know how to row, because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter anymore if you're rowing or not. But it's ensuring that you keep the ship afloat. And if there's a fire starting on one end or there's water coming on the boat on the other end, that's okay. As long as it's not ripping your ship apart, that's totally okay. And that's what my conversation was also about with Jordan, that you have to accept the chaos and you have to accept that there are fires. You cannot get through these times stable. Like, it's not possible. It's just not possible. If you are stable in these times right now, if there's no chaos in your company right now, you are too slow and you're not going to make it. And that's, to me, as the backbone of the company, as I have always been holding it dearly to me, that the stability of the company is because of me, and that it's my job to keep the company stable. Now understanding that I can't anymore, and it's also not my role anymore. I have to ensure that we can just get through this as fast as we can and get out ahead, even though one mast is broken, even though everyone is currently is suddenly in different roles and has to do other things than that they used to, because it's just such a new environment. And that means that there will be chaos. That means that there will be fires burning, and that's okay.
And that's a profound change.
Totally.
And especially when you like stability.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's scary.
It's scary. Absolutely. And so how do you deal with that yourself, in discussions you have with your co-founders, but also in terms of preparing yourself for this change that is coming your way and that forces you to value a behavior that before was considered bad?
Yeah. Two thoughts. So first of all, I think it brings me back to strategy. And that's what I talk with my co-founders about a lot. Strategy and market development has been quite predictable, right? Going back to the metaphor, you are on the open sea, you can look quite far and you can decide weeks out, months out, years out, where you're heading, right? But now you don't have that. Like, you're in the middle of the fog, you don't see anything. So you have to make decisions every 10 minutes. You have to reiterate every 10 minutes. And that's for us in the business. Every week we have to assess on a micro level, are we doing the right thing? Or are there any new knowledge, any new insights that we have gained that should shift our strategy, right? And we have to talk about that all the time. If you're not talking about your focus and your strategy weekly right now, you are too slow, most likely, right? So that's the first part. And the second part, I think, is a bit more personal. And for me, especially, it's about having balance, right? The crazier and the more unstable work is, and the more changes you do, the more fires you accept to burn, the more important it is that on the inside you are stable, right? Because if I'm, as a founder, unstable now as well, then things go haywire, right? So as long as I have that stability inside of me, and as long as I know, okay, what we're doing right now, that's okay. It's okay the way it is. And I also signal that to our team that it's okay that there's a fire burning here, and that it's okay that there's there are buckets full of water on the other side, right? As long as I have that inner clarity. And for me, that's having a good sports routine, sleeping enough, eating well, spending time with my fiance and my loved ones. These important other aspects of your life, having that balance, meditating, doing breath work, whatever it is for you, dancing, I don't know, whatever that is for you, I think is very, very important to balance out the highly unstable and extremely fast environment that we find ourselves in at work right now.
And not only in work. And so it's really about being anchored on the one hand, and on the other hand, accepting the fact that you can't control, which is, it's funny because if you think about a venture-backed startup, when you're growing incredibly fast, like adding 20 headcounts per quarter, sometimes more. I remember a sentence that the CEO of Checker, where I used to work, used to tell me, Pascal, you have to let it burn. Sometimes you have to let it burn. So I guess right now there's a fire for everybody. So it's so it's kind of a new reality.
Yeah.
If you think about it from the standpoint of a SaaS founder. Like a SaaS founder, when you do a certain amount of ARR or profit, in a way, that from a wealth standpoint, your asset, the asset that you've built, has some value that is defined in the marketplace. Right now, obviously, even that is unknown, right? The market cap of different SaaS companies have taken huge swings in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
How do you handle that also with your co-founders? Like in terms of what does it change? Like how do you embrace that chaos?
Yeah. So I think one really good thing is that we are bootstrapped. Me and my co-founders are the only owners of the company, and we don't have anybody from the outside telling us what to do and pushing us in a way that we don't want to. And on the other hand side, my co-founders are my closest friends. So that's something that's really, really helpful. And we are very aligned on, we want to make it through this. We want to come out first. We want to redefine our market. I want to be the thought leader there. And we know that it takes a lot of work and that it's not easy. It's very, very hard to do that. And we're all aligned on that. So I think that is very, very helpful. And then on the other hand side, we are also aligned that, should we not make it, we still want to do the same thing. Like we are not unaligned on the risk that we are taking right now and the bet that we are putting down. And I think that's really, really helpful to be aligned with your founding team, with your co-founders. Understand the risks, understand the risks of, pursuing this new technology, of going through the storm, and understand the risks of staying in harbor, because there are risks to both sides. And I would say the risk of not transforming your company is way bigger than the risk of going all in right now. But that's a decision that every founder has to make for themselves.
And in a way, I assume also because you're working with your best friends, that success is defined also by the time that you're having together, but what you've done so far, and that you have to accept that the ship may sink in the water. Obviously, you don't want that. And that there is, if it's happening because Claude is is launching a new skill.
Yeah. We don't know. Yes. Yeah. And that's something that I personally think we are. I personally think we are in a very lucky position because we are bootstrapped, we are profitable, we have an incredible team. Like really, we have such good people on our team, and I think the setup that we have right now is really, really good to make it through the storm and make it through the storm better than ever. And our product lead, Chiara, she mentioned that the other day. She said that, I'll paraphrase her on this, but she said that maybe now is the time that we've been waiting for. We have had good growth phases where we really grew significantly. And also last year, moving into the US, in the last year, our user base and our revenue in the US grew by a factor of 6.5. So it's working, right?
Yeah.
But we've always put in so much work and so much effort to get to where we are today. But maybe now is our time. Maybe now is the time that we've been waiting for, where it actually flips the switch and enables us to go global, way bigger and way more successful than ever before. It won't happen overnight, and it won't happen as, it's not luck. It's putting in the work, and it's embracing this. And I love this idea. Maybe now is the time that we've been waiting for. So let's go all in and push through this, and I'll see you on the other side, hopefully more successful than ever before.
I think that's a great way to end that part of the conversation. I mean, I often ask a question, which is, what is the most important thing that you learned from your mother? We know the most important thing that you learn from your CPO.
Yes. From my mother, I think it's balance, actually. It's something that I keep coming back to in my life, that she always taught me when I was young that you can do anything as long as you do it in measures, you know? And I think in some elements that's sometimes untrue, and sometimes I push through that. But then while I do that, I realize it's true on a different dimension. And that's sad. Like right now, pushing through this, you have to go all in. You have to do everything. Like you can't do it halfway. Like you can say, I'm not participating and I'm just staying home and I'm just enjoying where the company is at until at some point it's not there anymore. Or you go all in. Going halfway, you will get destroyed. Like I can promise you that. And going all in goes against that. But then when you go all in, you have to balance it out again. Like you have to keep that balance inside yourself, what I mentioned before. So balance is always super important. It is on different levels and different dimensions. So don't, use this wrongly in the sense of saying, oh, I'm just going to go halfway. That's not how to use it, but ensuring that, in life, you always keep that balance. It's not easy and it's very deep.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. It was a pleasure of being here.
Please make sure to like, subscribe, add a 5-star review, or anything that you can do to make more people discover our show.